October is quickly approaching, and this looks to be the biggest month of game releases of this year so far. Probably when we conclude the entire year, this is going to be the month that gamers look back on and say that it was an absolutely stacked month of game releases. And remember, Battlefield 5 was supposed to release in October, and that got pushed back to November. So if you had added that onto the pile, it would have been absolutely insane. But as is the case with the majority of months, you can't be expected to pick up every game that comes out. So I want to go over what PlayStation 4 games you should buy in the month of October. Now, I try to factor in a lot of different elements, whether or not I think the game is gonna go on sale rather quickly, and given the fact that Black Friday is right around the corner, you should be more mindful now more than any other month on buying a game at full retail price. That's why even though there's a lot of big games, I would say the majority of the titles that are coming out in October, you're gonna want to wait for a sale, and I'll explain why. But of course, there are some games coming out that I don't think are gonna go on sale rather quickly, and that are gonna be worth the full retail price. So let's start with that, with the games that I would recommend you to buy. Of course, the one that goes without saying is Red Dead Redemption 2. Every time I look in the comments, you guys are obviously so excited for Red Dead Redemption 2, and you don't even have to factor in any other elements. Just going in, knowing that it's RDR2, knowing that it's coming from Rockstar, you know that this is going to be an experience well worth your $59.99. There's a reason why Rockstar takes so long to put out new games. Grand Theft Auto 5 released all the way back in 2013, so you can expect the game to be tremendous. However, also, if you're familiar with Rockstar games, these games stay at their $60 price tag for a very long time. It took a very long time for Grand Theft Auto 5 to even get discounted. 5 years later, yeah, now you can find the game for $20, but it was at that $59.99 retail price until earlier this year. It was finally dropped down to $30 a couple months ago. So even with Black Friday around the corner, I foresee Red Dead Redemption 2 being a game that won't even get discounted $1. This is a game that you're paying the full $59.99 for, regardless if you buy it now, regardless if you buy it in 6 months. I highly doubt it's gonna go on sale, so best you get it right away and you pick it up on launch. The other game that I would say is a buy. Now hold up, don't get out your pitchforks right away. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now, of course, if you've been completely turned off by Call of Duty, if you have no interest in COD whatsoever, this is a game that you don't even have to buy. But the Call of Duty titles, much like the Rockstar titles, are games that tend to hold their value. Now, that necessarily hasn't been completely true in recent entries. Call of Duty World War II was a game that went on sale rather quickly. I believe during Black Friday of that year, it dropped down to $40, $45. However, with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 having the immense hype that it does have behind it, and the fact that it's introducing the Battle Royale mode, I foresee Black Ops 4 being a game that goes back to the traditional COD formula in that it holds its price tag for a very long time. Also, while there isn't a single player component, if you are one of those gamers that gets super invested into a Call of Duty multiplayer experience, Black Ops 4 is gonna have that in spades. You've got the traditional multiplayer, you've got zombies, and you've got this Battle Royale mode. This is a complete multiplayer experience, and it's an experience that can keep you busy for a very long time. Next up, another game that I would say is a buy is Fist of the North Star. Now, Fist of the North Star is gonna be a little bit more of a niche release, so for some of you guys, the look and stylization of this game is going to completely turn you off, and at that point, you're probably not even going to buy the game on sale. But this is a game that was worked on by some of the Yakuza team, and if you look at the game, I've often compared it to a cross between Fist of the North Star, of course, and the Yakuza games, and that's a game that I never knew I wanted until I saw Fist of the North Star in action. It was already released in Japan, received rather well. If you're into the Yakuza games, there's going to be a lot of fun to be had with Fist of the North Star, and chances are it's an experience that's going to keep you busy for quite a while. And as we've seen with Yakuza games, they do tend to hold their value for at least a little bit. Yakuza 6 was one of the titles that went on sale quicker than I expected. It's already available for like $36 to $40. Given the fact that Yakuza 0 held its value for a very long time, I expected Yakuza 6 to follow in suit, but that wasn't necessarily the case. I imagine that Fist of the North Star will be pretty similar. For the rest of the year, it'll probably hover around its retail price of $59.99, but early next year, I could see it drop to that $40 range. Still, if you're interested, I would say this is a buy. And lastly, and I'll be completely honest with this one, I'll be a little bit biased because this is of a franchise that is very nostalgic to me, and that is the latest game in Capcom's Mega Man franchise in Mega Man 11. Mega Man has been making a little bit of a comeback recently. We had the release of all of those different Mega Man collections, the Mega Man Legacy collection, the Mega Man X collection, and now we have a brand new Mega Man game with Mega Man 11. Now, first of all, this is a game that is of course not being released at a full $59.99 price point. If Mega Man 11 was released at a $59.99 price point, I would say stay the hell away, but it's being released at a budget $29.99 price point, which is much more palatable. If you're a Mega Man fan, this is probably going to be right up your alley, and by the way, Mega Man 11 does have a demo available right now, so if you're not completely sold on it, if you don't know how it's going to be like to get back into Mega Man with a brand new Mega Man game, try out that demo. I thought it was rather rather good, and the general reception has been pretty positive from a presentation and gameplay standpoint. Couple that with the fact that it's being released at $29.99, and if this game does sell, well, that might open the door for more Mega Man titles like a Mega Man X9. That's something that I've been asking for a very long time, so I would say that Mega Man 11 is a buy. Now let's move on to the wait for a sale category, and a lot of these games I'm saying wait for a sale on because, again, like I mentioned at the top of this video, Black Friday is right around the corner, and I foresee a lot of these games getting discounted rather quickly. And first up, we have a game that completely fits that category in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I love Assassin's Creed. However, Ubisoft's games nowadays go on sale so quickly. Look at Far Cry 5. That game released in October of 2017. That year's Black Friday, the game was available for $29.99. I'm sorry, but I fully expect the same course of action with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's going to be released at $59.99. Some people are going to buy it. Some people are probably going to love it. And then a month after release, it's available regularly for $29.99. If you're not an ardent Assassin's Creed fan, yes, Odyssey does look good. Yes, it's making a lot of refinements. Yes, Origins was a very good game, but given the fact that it's almost a guarantee that this game will be significantly discounted within a month, I just can't give it a recommendation for a buy at full price, and especially given AC's track record in terms of a price trajectory, I think it's a much better idea to wait for a sale on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Next up, we have Disgaea One Complete. Now, this is a title that I'm not sure if it's gonna go on sale pretty quickly. However, this is a case of a game being overpriced from the get-go. Disgaea 1 is a PlayStation 2 game. If you're gonna be releasing a remastered version of a PS2 title, who are capping that price at $39.99, and $39.99 in my opinion is still a little bit excessive. I would say $29.99 should be a reasonable price point for a PS2 remaster. But Disgaea One Complete is being released at $49.99. Yes, I know there are some refinements. Yes, I know there are some improvements being made, but man, $49.99 is just too expensive. I said the same thing about Dragon's Crown Pro. Yes, it's a more niche game, and I understand people that are super into Disgaea are probably gonna drop that $49.99. But man, this is originally a PS2 game. We gotta hold our horses with the pricing a little bit. As much as I love NIS, this is one that I would absolutely wait on a sale for, even as good as Disgaea 1 was. Next up, we have a brand new IP that actually looks rather interesting, and that is Starlink Battle for Atlas. Now, whenever a new IP is being released, you have to be a little bit hesitant because it is a brand new property, but at the same time, you can be a little bit excited. However, Starlink is a Ubisoft published game, and as I mentioned before, if you look at Ubisoft's track record, these games just go on sale very quickly. And also coupled with the fact that Starlink Battle for Atlas, when you look at this game, this is a game that parents are gonna want to buy for their kids for the holidays. That means chances are this game is probably gonna go on sale during that holiday period. It's an interesting game. I commend Ubisoft for trying something new, even though they are trying to make a little bit of money off of it. I can't hate on them for that. They are a business after all. But I would say if you're looking at it from a monetary standpoint, a standpoint of saving money, I would say wait on a sale for Starlink Battle for Atlas. Next up, this one might surprise some of you people, but I foresee this game going on sale very quickly, and that is SoulCalibur 6. Yes, it's SoulCalibur 6. Yes, it's a part of a long-running franchise. However, I think the promotion of this game has been rather non-existent. I don't see this game doing all too well commercially. Even though they have Geralt of Rivia prominently featured on the box art, I just don't see the hype and anticipation for SoulCalibur 6 being there. We've had a lot of fantastic fighting games already, like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Injustice 2. I just don't think gamers are super eager for yet another fighting game. I could see Black Friday time that SoulCalibur 6 is a game that drops down to $34.99, and at that point, that's a much more palatable price, and I would check it out then. Speaking of fighting games, we've got another one on a very notable IP, My Hero One's Justice. Now, just going into it, this is another game that I'm gonna be super partial with. I absolutely love My Hero Academia, but at the same time, I know the track record of anime games. Usually, the first one out isn't absolutely fantastic, even though I have to say, based on what I've seen of My Hero One's Justice, it's a game that's shaping up rather nicely, but I think it is a franchise that is gonna get better with subsequent entries, and given the fact that the game is being released on the same day as Red Dead Redemption 2, and I just have to say that is absolute promotional malpractice. My Hero One's Justice going up against Red Dead Redemption 2. I know Bandai Namco didn't plan that out, but I think the majority of gamers, if they had to pick one game, they're gonna go with RDR2. However, I do think My Hero One's Justice is gonna do rather well from a commercial standpoint. I think people are really underselling the popularity of My Hero Academia. It's becoming one of the most popular anime around today, and even a more Western audience is at least somewhat familiar with it, and I do see it resonating to some extent. However, I also would say that this is a game probably best to wait for a sale on. And lastly, another game that I think looks rather good, but I just don't think the promotion has been there, is Call of Cthulhu. We've finally seen more gameplay of Call of Cthulhu, and the more gameplay I see of this game, the more I've been sold on it. However, when you look at all of the blockbuster titles coming in October, I do see Call of Cthulhu being a game that doesn't do all too well from a commercial standpoint. It's coming out right around the time of Red Dead Redemption 2, and if you're looking for that quality single-player experience, I just think, again, people are going to flock towards RDR2 towards the end of October, and I don't foresee this game doing all too well from a commercial standpoint. However, at the same time, I think this is going to be one of the more surprising game releases of the year. I do foresee this game doing well from a critical standpoint, and hopefully it's one of those games like Vampire where I'm off the money on, and it does do well from a commercial standpoint, and it develops into a notable franchise, but another title I see getting very, very cheap as we head into Black Friday. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, the games that I would say are a buy are Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Fist of the North Star, and Mega Man 11. Definitely would say wait for a sale on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Disgaea One Complete, Starlink Battle for Atlas, SoulCalibur 6, My Hero 1's Justice, and Call of Cthulhu. But again, this is just my input. Make sure you keep your eyes open to reviews and how these games are being priced at various retailers. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.